PWRSE
Yes, correct.
on this double bottom right here. I've noticed candles, it's showing that it's getting soaked. Notice on the candles it's getting soaked. So I think this is actually going to make a move. I'm going to keep an eye on it. What else? I don't see anything else. I don't like ICCT. Yeah, I think I'm going to start adding some NBSE. I like how this higher low is right here. We should see, if it goes back up to 254, I'm liking that area right there. Yeah. And we missed Polly.
I was watching it. I was wondering what you were, yeah.
Sup.
What up, Roland?
What's going on?
We just got back from Power Hour right now, literally right now, as you just got on as well. We're looking for plays to see what we can capitalize on.
Nice. Saw a couple people. We got a lot of new people, man. A lot of new people. And I don't know where y'all are coming from again, but it's good. It's a good thing. So you'll kind of get used to the flow. You'll kind of get used to the flow and how I operate and how everything operates here. It's different than a lot of places. I'm a lot more present than most places, but my schedule changes a lot more than most places because my trading is changing constantly. The times a day that I find that it's profitable for me to be around change, and then family situations change and all that good stuff. So understand that that there's an ebb and flow to things. If I'm generally not around Power Hour, if I don't seem too excited, it's either because A, I don't think there's that much opportunity left in anything throughout the day, or B, because I don't believe the markets are that fruitful, or C, personal life. So it's usually a combination, but that is the deal. Yeah, you'll see as we go on. I try to be sitting at the markets when it pays me to be sitting at the markets, and the rest of the time I try to be more productive with my life, or these days just teach one-on-one, so I've been doing mostly that between when I trade in the morning and when I trade Power Hour every day. Between that is generally spent working with you guys. So it's and then 3 p.m. comes and it's dad time over here as much as I can. It's not been that much lately, but nice pushback to high day on Pally. We've been seeing these just from a macro pattern perspective, not so much from a price action perspective or anything like that, even though they go together. We've been seeing these VWAP cracks on these strong stocks. The ones trading big volume, where there are algorithms and stuff going on. 144 million shares this Pally's traded today. For me, the reason I'm ignoring it is because I look at this thing and to me it's like best entry if I wanted to be long right now was still in the 140s at this point, right? So for me, I don't try to play for squeezes like this. You can play price action. For me, I'm speaking for me personally. Macro perspective, I look at Pally and it's filled the gap already today. Could it gap up tomorrow and do something funky? Of course it could. Last time it traded big-ish volume, even though it wasn't even close to this amount, it did gap up on day 2 after closing right around this area, So if it actually closes around 170 or something like that, it'd probably be healthier than if this thing goes just parabolic and you're long. I would personally be selling, like we saw yesterday on Verb, right? We get Verb, big parabolic, and it closed through high day. It's setting up like that literally right now. So, I mean, yeah, could you play for a squeeze? You could. For me personally, I just don't really like it when I know the best part of this pattern occurred on the dips below VWAP earlier today, you know, when we were watching it kind of earlier and it was breaking down. So that's my whole take on it. It's just a macro thing for me. It's already filled the gap. Yes, it could gap up. And yes, I wouldn't mind it gapping up if we're long from like the 140s. If that makes sense to everyone. That's my take from a macro perspective on that. And then we've got MRIN, which I was bang on with watching it where I was and trying to calculate my risk reward this morning. And it was a sweet, 70, 80% run from that gap and crap reversal this morning. Working off that last bit of even pre-market support, that was nice. So that being said, could it day 2 or something like that? It could. They're not incredibly dilutive, it looks like. I could see Emeren potentially being one of those ones where we see something like today on, let's see, what was the ticker today? NBSE, I believe. Something like that, even though this one's doing a crap ton more volume day 1, so it's not quite the same. That one's set up on really low volume for a multi-week, multi-day breakout kind of thing. This is a little bit different. There's a lot of volume day 1 here. NBSE was a beauty today. Another sort of gap and crap reversal there, but they have been longer drawn out. We're not seeing we're seeing morning spikes again, like PALI. Just kind of first minute morning spike, PLAI. Same with, I believe, Verve yesterday was a morning spike, right? So these ones that are getting algo driven on big volume right now have been morning spikes initially. They've been starting by pushing them real hard on big volume, whatever's going on out the gate. And then once everything equalized, short step in. Then we've been seeing all the dicking around with like VWAP, the pool below VWAP, stopping people out, big volume pools being held and soaked from earlier levels in the morning. Breakdowns of those levels, little fake breakdowns and breakouts. So that's kind of, from a macro perspective, that's what I've been looking at lately. VWAP crack on NBSE now. Again, this one's gone parabolic today, really, really parabolic. I still don't want to get caught in bad spots. Again, from a macro perspective, don't get too sucked into the minute by minute. What you looking at, pal? Frenchie?
Nothing. I'm not touching Poly and I'm not touching NBSC. I'm not touching anything.
Yeah, I like it. And it's kind of one of those things, you guys, like there's these moves happen and everyone's going to try to get into highs and stuff like that. So we still just have to lock, be disciplined, know the spots that you like to play in and the spots where you're comfortable risking at. That's a big deal for me, man. That's a big deal. And that's the only reason. I mean, could Pally break out, go to 250 or something crazy like that right now? Totally. Do I mind missing it? Not so much. Because my job literally, guys, the way I like to trade, at least my job right now is to be selling into this. That is the job for me. Maybe not all of it. Depends from market to market, ticker to ticker. From a macro perspective, for me, this is the gap fill already.
Yeah, we nailed it. We nailed it earlier, dude.
Yeah,
we nailed it way below VWAP.
That was literally perfect.
Yeah.
That's the spot, not up here for me. And if you guys understand that, that's the trade, and the rest is bonus if you're able to scale out. And then sometimes the price action is so clean, you don't even have to scale out too much. You just take some off and then boom, breakout, like Verb yesterday, something like that. Where maybe you're able to extend gains in a considerable fashion. But then the biggest part of it, because dude, I've been getting quite a few DMs from people that I've been working with one-on-one and stuff you guys are good with your discipline for like a week and then 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And then for some reason, random days, it's just like you start doing random things again, looking for trades, hunting for trades, not being comfortable sitting on your hands. A lot of you are just way too engaged all day. In other words, ready to be making moves at times of the day or in parts of the chart that are just so random. And then a lot of you are sending me charts that end up, I'm like, dude, where's your risk reward? What was the setup? Where's your risk reward there? A lot of you, I promise, when you get into funks, look at your trades. You're trading totally random shit. You know, random times a day, random dips. And then when it's controlled, you know it's the opposite. It feels different. It feels so much different. You're just patiently waiting for the opportunity, you know? And it can be frustrating at times, but I would rather be frustrated because I watched a few moves run without me than get frustrated because I'm literally just giving into impulse trading and revenge trading and not cutting losses and then reinforcing bad habits and then tomorrow may be the day. You know, I like to stay in the race, bro. If I just stay in the ring, you know, there's always a chance as long as I'm fit to do that. If I'm fucking just taking losses all the time because of random shit, it's super hard to push forward. Maybe tomorrow, maybe this afternoon's the time, but I'm not seeing things clearly. So that's what I try to do. And the only thing that I fall prey to during this period of time is to be a little bit too trigger shy. And it's all good. Don't get too excited, you guys. You guys gotta keep even keel and then be patiently waiting for setups to reveal themselves to you. I know, you know, I wasn't really around to be trading Pally, but I know that the pattern I was looking for today was something similar. If I were to be trading an afternoon pattern, I'd be looking for something similar to Verb in terms of what the big, and what I'm talking about right now, what the biggest dollar volume stocks are doing, you know, and in terms of what Mr. French is calling out with the algorithms and stuff like that, there are patterns to that shit. You know, it's not just, so even if you're not great at reading price action in real time and it's all, you know, Spanish to you, unless you speak Spanish, then it's all French and whatever else, who cares? But that's all right. That's all right. You can still try to see it in the charts themselves, the patterns that these big volume traders are running at the moment, because they will be cyclical. They will be cyclical. So for right now, the biggest runners and the biggest volume runners outside of that, we did have that nice reversal on MRIN, have been morning spike plays. And in that case, you just gotta, we see some VWAP holds, but then we see some come down, all the way back down a low a day. So I kind of mentioned yesterday how I'm treating the morning spikes if I'm trying to play them. I'm not really playing them though, because it's just a pattern I don't prefer. But these midday reversals, you know, 2 hours prior to kind of market close, 2.5 hours prior to market close, these kind of midday bottoms after we do have strength have been nice, man. I don't know, a couple weeks maybe. And then some random shit too, you know. You get some things that are just somewhat random. A lot of splits though, a lot of recent kind of splits that have faded. So there's, in other words, shit ain't dead. You know, if you look at the volume today, dollar volume wise on our top 2% gainers, 220 million and 214 million, 230, 214 million respectively between Pally and NBSE, 45 on MRIN, you know, 245 on ICCT, 220 on AVAV. It's a much higher price stock. It's only done 1.8 million in volume, but I'm talking dollar volume. So if you think back to this time last year and small cap, there was nothing. There was zero volume. I don't even think algorithms were running all that much. Maybe they were, maybe just like the one runner of the day, but everything, I feel like everything was just down. So.
Hey, real quick, Roland. All right, guys. So I am definitely seeing some accumulation. Um, I took NBSC at 222 down here. I'm still holding. It's small, very small position, but liking what I see. That 5 minute candle was a complete soak and sell off and complete soak. So what I'm looking for, you got to consider this trade though. It's got two resistances. It's got one major resistance and a secondary resistance. So I'm not sure if you guys can figure that out on your own, but we should reject right here, have another higher low. And I'm looking to add bigger size if this actually does come back down closer to VWAP for a nice big reversal. It is a pennant on the daily, on it's a flag. So it's like a pennant flag. This isn't a flag, it's actually a pennant. And I'm going to see if this reversal is going to actually hold or continue to sell down, because this is the resistance right here. This is the key level. Should reject. We should see another dip back down to VWAP. And then we should see some more accumulation in that area. And then hopefully we break out and go full reversal on this. So keep an eye on this. I didn't want to interrupt Roland, but I'm in at 222. Go ahead, Roland.
You're fine, buddy. Anytime you want. This is just kind of open forum for hopefully you, me. Hopefully, you know, if Tony ever wants to chime in or any of these cats, it will be definitely an open forum kind of in the future. I'd like Power Hour to be in particular. NBSC for me, yeah, exactly where it topped out would pretty much be one of the key levels for me, just from a daily chart perspective. Post split highs are generally a pretty key level as well, which they're kind of right around the same area. But damn, I mean, 100 million volume they did today after they pushed. So there's another example of a nice reversal. A nice morning reversal, man. Really, really nice. Another example of that this morning. So I'll be ready for tomorrow. That's for sure. I'll be ready for tomorrow morning.
Keep an eye on, also Roland, keep an eye on ICCT. Not really a lot of volume. I don't like it. The only thing that it still hasn't died off, but I don't care for it particularly. But keep an eye on that one.
THTX is also somewhat interesting for maybe kind of a multi-day run. Their post-split high was, you know, they did their split in late September, and their post-split high, it's right where they opened, right in the 250s or so. I don't know. I just hasn't traded any volume whatsoever at all until today. So today, although it's not a shit ton of volume, it is that first bit of volume that puts it on the map for me, I guess you could say.
ICCT should break all the way to VWAP, guys. That real volume's coming in. ICCT.
Yeah, that's looking VWAP bound for sure.
Yeah, that's going all the way to fucking VWAP, guys.
And again, for me, I'm looking at this and it's heading to VWAP, and risk for me is like high sevens. So if I'm to trade personally, unless I'm just trading straight momentum, I'd have to be buying, selling into VWAP, selling into any strength, as opposed to obviously buying off support a little bit earlier. Makes a big difference to me. For my afternoon plays, you guys know if I'm trading afternoon and I'm looking for potential overnight or potential, I mean, the targets here are the same as my morning targets, basically. VWAP's first target. Second target would be for me like 950s, 10 area, which is like high a day, right? So that would be kind of that bonus if I'm able to hang on to some shares, would be through those highs. And when we're getting to 870, 880 for me, and my first target, I get inverse on my risk reward to get back down to risk. That is chasing to me. Feel me? I hope you guys know that. For me, that is the definition of what a chase is. And I can chase to, and you know, when I have conviction in a sector, or I have like big time macro conviction in something or a swing, that's when you will see me open up and kind of open up the playbook where I'm trading a little bit more momentum style. But then the rest of the time, I gotta just keep it controlled, man, just as a matter of the next trade and the next trade and the next trade being good over time. But the idea for me on these afternoon trades is to be able to have two things happen. A day trade, hopefully. So be able to take some profits off of these sorts of levels, even ICCT in the 840s or whatever else. You know, for me, and again, I don't. This is how I frame it in my head so that I don't do stupid stuff and chase impulsively. You know, that's how I frame it in my head.
Watching a buyer right here, guys, on NBSE. There's someone accumulating right here in this particular area.
Wasn't me. Pally holding up near highs. And again, like when I'm looking at something like Pally, specifically now, I mean, Verb broke out yesterday, that's for sure. They were reverse split. They had one pop prior to that. That's where they topped from sub 1. We're talking about a stock still that's up 170% on the day and has gap filled. So again, how much juice realistically is there left? Well, it's going to depend on if shorts are get trapped up here and how many. It's done a fuck ton of volume today, so you never know. You never know. Yesterday's spike and halt through, you know, you get that spike and halt through high a day. And this will, and Pally, if you do recall this morning, if it does run 30 cents or something in a minute or two, you're going to see it halt. So 30, 40 cents.
Got my stop in right here, guys, on NBSE. It's accumulating right here. There's someone definitely buying right here, so I'm taking a small position, looking for a break above 257, 260, and hopefully this thing makes a move. Not taking big size. So one thing I do is later on in the day, I trade with real small size because I'm not trying to give back my profits, right? I'm still in at 222, added a little bit more here at 234, 233 area, and still holding higher lows. Moved up my stop to 230 area.
See, and that's you guys. That's something. It's different. You know, he's not working like low a day risk up here. You understand that? Like he's finding risk reward up here, which is good, and he's controlling it because of price action that he sees and where he believes it should be holding based on that price action and buyers and sellers and stuff like that, as opposed to just randomly buying shit. But
yeah,
it's controlled. In other words, you hear in two ways does he control it, which is both with the tight stop and then also with smaller size later in the day.
Yeah, real small size. I had like 500 shares and then like 100, and I'm just allowing, you know, to capture the trade. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, I got a tight stop at 230. Yeah. So no big deal.
Yep.
But it's looking like it's accumulating. To me, it looks like it wants to break out and make a bigger move. And so I'm just being patient right now. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I don't have big size.
Yeah.
You got to see that accumulation, right? And so because I'm seeing that, the price action is telling me that this wants to go. So he's absolutely right. I'm reading price action and I'm reading key levels. And so if this squeezes, you can see it. There it goes. Yeah, and so now I'm in pretty safe. My average is 228. Now I'm just going to let the play out now. I'm not going to scalp, not going to fucking just secure. I'm going to have fun with this, and hopefully we can see a nice big bullish move on this thing.
Okay, so Pally, I'm just ignoring. I'd love to see it break out, you guys. That's the whole thing you have to understand. I root for these things, you know. I want to see them go. The more they go, the better tomorrow will be. Tomorrow morning, that is, in my eyes. But Pally, in other words, I needed to have been long from the 140s. And if I'm long from the 140s, I am up handsomely on my position from a percentage gain standpoint. If it decides to break out, it's great. I get to sell, have a great afternoon play, maybe hold a couple shares, but if it goes parabolic, usually best just dishing them, as we've seen. You know, when they exhaust these things into close, from a short seller perspective, these cheaper ones especially, they tend to gap down. With a lot of pressure, so. But that's the whole idea, is that I'm still looking to take profits into strength, de-risk, have less size, and then if anything, have some shares into tomorrow with a gap and some cushion, man. That way, my trade's not living and dying with the stock the next morning based on that gap, and then I don't have to be as distracted by the fact that my one play is gapping down tomorrow, and I'm trying to figure out other stuff that I want to trade, but I got to figure out how to deal with this loss because I'm down like 20%. Because I can't have a stop loss after hours. Now I got to sit around after all that good stuff. I avoid that these days, particularly through not buying into close, man. Making sure that that position I'm taking will be hopefully a reversal from an hour to an hour and a half prior. Sometimes late day panics into support can be okay. Sometimes they can be amazing, just depending on the markets and the conditions. So, and what are the markets doing? What we got going on? We have some 100% runners at least, just kind of dicking around today. Nothing too crazy from a market perspective. Red day, another red day. Shying away from these highs still. It's APLT. We saw them earlier.
Okay.
You know, kind of low volume reversal.
Good.
VWAP breakout this afternoon, break a high of days into resistance areas in the 2s to 210, where it certainly likes to shy away from. And then previous 270. One to possibly keep tabs on. PALI just cracked straight to VWAP right now from 180. And there's a very perfect illustration of why the entry, if you're trying to be macro or even if you're trading price action, is still 140s here, 150s for me. Are there trades off of VWAP when VWAP holds and then it pushes? Yes, but from a macro perspective, I'm trying to find the biggest chunks that these stocks move and place myself for those so I can size out into these chunks as opposed to like 10 cents here and 10 cents there, but possibly 50 cents downside when it doesn't work every single time, right? But PALI is a great example. Why I mean, this is where you short it, man. This is where, honestly, the best risk reward of the day right now for a short seller is as this thing creeps up to 185, 186, 187, 188, and then they get to cover into VWAP when it pulls back. Do you understand this dynamic? Like, I used to think I was getting a discount on the breakout by buying $1.80. And that's when I was getting savvy and not just buying pre-market high breakouts, right? And I was starting my journey, my long journey back away from playing highs and strength into finding areas that have much better risk reward on these charts, right? But that pull on Pally, that's the exact reason why both I would only buy this in the 140s, 150s, and why I would need to be selling into the 170s, 180s, and de-risking this trade and locking in gains. You know, those are the things that have not as much to do with price action and more to do with general trade management over time that will make you successful, man. There's understanding price action, there's coming up with a plan, there's understanding short sellers and where to enter and where not to enter and all that good stuff. But then there's like literally how you manage your trades, from a big picture perspective, how you're de-risking. The whole point is not, oh, I'm afraid or anything else. It's just I understand how these things work and flow, and I got to make sure that I'm taking what I can when I'm right. Right? I hope that makes sense, you guys. That's why you don't see me dicking around too much throughout the day. And if you don't see me trading after hours, or if there are days or weeks where you don't see me placing trades, it is because I'm missing the entries that I know are the best for the biggest parts of the moves. And I don't like trading the rest of the shit. It's that simple, man. It's that simple. I don't have to trade all day, every day. And those of you who are, some of you guys, like I'm getting, I get to the one-on-ones and you do great. Like I said, then I've gotten some messages this week about some of you who just went off the rafters one day randomly for no reason, other than maybe there was one big runner or someone made some money and you're doing wacky shit, for no reason. Buying random spots impulsively, again, holding losses longer than you should, all that good stuff. It all comes with the territory. I wait for these spots and charts to buy because I know it's the least likely that I will get bagged or do anything stupid or lose control of a trade. There's only a couple areas in these charts, guys. When you start to zoom out and get to 5 and 15-minute time frames, which is what I've been doing, man.
Sectors of the public highway could be converted into auxiliary military air bases.
What's being converted? Like if you go to Pally's 15-minute chart, obviously there's a morning spike, the first candle of the day, first couple candles, that's tough. That's why I don't like to play them. Once you zoom out on these things, it makes more sense. Like, where am I risking on this and how? Sort of idea. 1 second, wifey's calling me. But then you see the pullback to the first pullback of the day, those first pulls when it was going parabolic on the 15-minute chart. You see it break down and you see a bunch of wicks on the 15-minute chart through that level. Clearly there was some soaking, there was something going on to hold it there on a 15-minute time frame. You see that big wick off of the top of day too on the 15-minute time frame, and then you see it fill that, push through, all the way back to high day. Hold on. Y'all can talk amongst yourself, or if you got any more commentary right now, Frenchie, it's up to you. I'm just gonna talk to my wife for a second.
No, I'm just still sitting here on just waiting.
Sometimes the plane.
You guys have any questions so far? There's really not much going on. I was going to take some ICCT. I was waiting for a pullback. It looked like it was going to go to VWAP, and then it pulled back way too hard. And I did not touch that at all. That sucks.
I have a question for you, French.
Sure.
So, does your broker supply you with DOS, or do you have a subscription for DOS?
I have to pay for it, yeah.
And you have that hooked up to TOS?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Cool. Thank you, sir.
They're interlinked. So like you can trade on DOS. DOS is actually a trading platform.
Right.
But you can use the Thinkorswim as your charting.
Right. So DOS is a broker?
Yeah. No. DOS is just the platform. They still utilize TD Ameritrade as their broker. However, I have direct access. So I don't have to go through like the broker itself. I have direct access to the market.
Yeah, because I stuff like that. You're like 5 or 10 seconds ahead of what we're seeing because we got E-Trade and TOS level 2.
That is weird.
Yeah. that's what basically why I'm asking you that question, because I mean, I want to be able to see freaking everything.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize that you guys, because I'm not familiar with those platforms, I don't know how they look, right?
And I know on DOS, when you get white prints and stuff like that, that's the print in between the bid and the ask, correct?
Right. They're buying in the dark pool.
Right.
They're buying in the dark pool. So
Yeah.
I got stopped out on NBSE. It came all the way down. My stop was at 230 because I averaged up a little bit. So hopefully, no, I don't think anything's going at this point. And it is, I don't know. Can anyone, if you want to learn, can anyone show the dual resistances? It has dual resistance. You can clearly see it on the 5 minute and the 15 minute. If you guys have learned, can someone post it? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna nail anything else. What time is it? Sorry, 12:30. Here. No. Close. Scotty LaBouffe, close. Here, I'll post it so you guys can see it. I'll post the larger time frame as well. This is how I was able to nail such a good entry. There's that buyer again. I'm not touching this anymore just because, take a look at this, guys. That's the first chart, and that's the second chart on the 5 minute. 5:15, and that's how I'm able to nail those dips because it's following that trend. If you guys can give me a thumbs up on the pictures, make sure you guys see them. And we had sort of an inverse head and shoulders on this as well. Right? So on a larger time frame, you can see the larger time frame is the one on the bottom, which is the 5 minute, right? And the larger time and the smaller time frame is the top. And so you clearly see this is called a pennant. That's why I was like, we're not using the supports right now. We're not talking about supports, but there is the key level right to the left. That's why I was able to get in at such a good price towards that bottom. So if you look on the 1 minute, go to 222, and that was my entry, right? That was my entry right there. You see what I mean? So what gave me confirmation that it's soaking is you go to the 5 minute, and the 5 minute, guess what? It is a hammer. It's not the best looking one, but it is a red little doji. It's kind of it's kind of a cross, but if you notice, there's a lot of accumulation. So that's why I took that in that area using the 5 minute. So go to your 5 minute, and that's where my entry was, right? And then my second entry was around 234, 233. So now you can see where there's accumulation. And then I put my stop 230. I didn't want this to come against me. And then it just slowly walked it down. So that's how you can play. And sometimes you'll get, sometimes don't get it wrong. It was a solid play, but it didn't break out. And the reason I was looking is if you look at that pipe, if you look at that peak at 256, 270 or 260 area, that's where that resistance is. That's where that resistance is. And if we were to break through that, it would squeeze. That's what I was looking for. And you guys can see it now. Oh, this thing's getting soaked up right now. Look at this. There's your algo. Nice big volume coming in. Nice big 5-minute candle. But if you look, it's going to reject right here. So this resistance is very, very strong. So if you have problems drawing your trend lines and seeing bigger picture, like what Roland said earlier, he said, he looks at the macro. So do I. I trade in the micro though, right? Because we want to be as precise as a sniper to get in our entry levels. But this right here is exactly what I was looking for, and I wanted to get a reversal. And unfortunately, it's just not. Oh, so sorry. NBSE. There's the only tickers that I was looking at right now. NBSE. Blue Cat.
So are you still in this position, Mr. French?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you still in this position?
No, it stopped me out. I put my stop
Oh, okay.
at 2:30, and I was hoping that it would continue to get soaked and continue to get soaked, but it didn't. And then it walked it all the way down. Remember what these are called? Controlled walk downs. And then look at this. Look at this volume coming in.
Yeah, I see that.
I fucking think I got in way too early, guys. And that happens all the time. No big deal.
Yeah.
But I think it happens, I think it happens where, it's just not ready, right? Look at this. Oh, you bastard. Oh, you bastard. This is, again, learning lesson for me, guys. I was in too early. I got out way too early. I set my stop too fucking tight. And guess what? We're going to miss this bitch. This hurts. This hurts. This hurts.
All right. That is unless they slap 250.
Like they just did.
What's that, dude? You guys see that though, right? So I was in a little bit prematurely. I got in at that bottom 220. I knew that 227 VWAP should have been my sort of where I should have put my stop at. However, because I added on a higher low, at 234, my average wasn't the greatest, right? I averaged up. So I want to always protect my P&L. And then the algo slowly controlled, walked it down, accumulated this 226, 227 area, and now it's full, nice reversal. I don't know if I want to take this right here. I just don't have any confidence in it myself. Me personally, I feel like this is a little high and they might dip it back down, but it could go right here. But this is the play that I was looking for earlier, guys. This is exactly the play that I was looking for earlier. There it goes, man. There it fucking goes, dude.
Pretty decently on Emran.
Rolling.
Sip.
Dude, the play I was looking for is exactly happening out right now. Unfortunately, I got stopped out. But I was telling the team. Look at that. I was telling the team I got in a little too early, but what I should have done, the mistake that, again, learn lesson for me. The mistake that I made was that I put my stop way too high.
Yep.
I didn't give it enough room to walk it down to,
yep.
VWAP and then do this move. This is exactly what I was looking for, guys. This breakout right here.
So they
So,
see
Mr.
me-
French,
they see me
217 would have been too far away for you for a stop? Like the low on that hammer candle, that red hammer candle you're talking about, that would have been too far away for you for a stop?
I just didn't want to like give back profits. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
my entry was precise, but my management of the trade itself was horrible
Right.
because I saw poly, right? So when you see things like poly, you see things like verb, you see ICCT, the one that I was looking at, and they look like absolute horse crap. You got to be careful that the market's just not there, right? However, it just completely, it fooled me. And here we go. Look at this thing. And there's the move I was looking for, guys. There's that big fucking move. So even though I'm not in the trade, great fucking learning lesson, right, guys? Great fucking learning lesson.
They see me buy too early all the time, and it's part of. Listen, man. If anyone who's read The Contrarian Trader, Contrary Investing, if you've read that book that I told you guys to read, the old ass book, they specifically speak about that, man. That first of all, it's the way. It is the way.
Mm-hmm.
But second of all, one of the main dangers is just specifically being too early as a contrarian investor, man. And it goes down to the same exact thing. When we're doing this, it happens to us like minute by minute, as opposed to like we're too early, like a month early. We're like minutes too early, and that can happen at times. And then you learn your lesson and kind of go on about your way. But the other super important part is that he's just protecting himself because he's macro driven, which is why it works for him. And he knows when to press and not press. Big part of that is macro, man. When you're seeing everything around you crumbling, oftentimes it's best to just
sit on your hands.
Yeah, why not? You know, it's what we always talk about. It's why sympathy plays work in the first place, and that's why sometimes markets just get really poor when everyone's seeing that nothing's working and everything is panicking. Things can get kind of weak for the time being, but
yeah. Yep. Again, I trade on the micro, but I enter on the micro, but I trade the macro. So I use both perspectives. Gomez times. That doesn't really necessarily work, right? On a larger time frame. Oh, you're looking at MRN. My bad, but I'm not looking at MRN. I can't give you any breakdown on that. I'm so sorry, bro.
I mean, yeah, there's a trend there. I see what he's saying. But yeah, it's different. It's a little bit different there. When you have something channeling really nicely and it becomes a clear trend from lows to highs like he was showing, it can become much more predictable where the bounce is going to be. When it's a trend like this where it's just kind of like it is uptrending, yeah. Through my experience, it's just very, very hit or miss. It's very, very hit or miss, especially because there's not a lot of range between movement, if that makes sense. It's just been kind of grinding, chopping up. Could it work? Yeah. Could you find tight risk reward here? Yeah, sure. But just for me, it's never been so feasible. And again, the less range the stock is trading, if it's just walking up along the trend line, very easy for it to crack. You know what I mean? I find them to be much more powerful when you have range. I mean, even if you look at the range on NBSE, if you go to NBSE, hit like 5-minute chart or 1-minute chart, you can see range between the channels. Ended up being, there was some juice there, in other words, right?
Yeah, it's like 30 cents, right, Roland?
Yeah. I don't like, so you can kind of see there's a difference between trends for me and the weight that they will end up holding. But that being said, I mean, I don't hate Emran for a possible multi-day push. Like, honestly, maybe one of these ones that gets over $1 and that we end up visiting on Monday or something like that. Seriously, or people will be visiting Monday. So
today's Thursday, right?
today's Thursday. So Thursday, I'm looking at maybe Friday, maybe some chopping around,
Okay,
back to
Monday.
highs and back to, probably back to these levels even, maybe Monday or Tuesday, and maybe we see a breakout.
Okay, I got you.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I was like, oh, did I miss a day here or what?
Nah, but
I thought, anyways.
they'll be pumping. They seem to be on the pump to me. Today's Wednesday, not Thursday, correct?
Today's Wednesday? Oh, it is Wednesday. Holy shit, man.
Stop confusing
Losing
everyone,
my
bro.
mind.
I'm gonna have to mute you if you start confusing everyone.
You're having too much fun.
I know. I'm doing it. I'll mute myself. How about?
Deal.
Well, hey, Roland. Not sure if you got my message, brother, but I was hoping that we can get on a call. I know you're super busy. Do you know when you'll have a little bit, maybe an hour for me?
Yeah, hit me up anytime past, I don't know, hit me up like an hour after the close, because I got a couple appointments real fast, and then hit me up.
Okay, cool.
Sweet. Yeah, do it.
Nah.
Guys, NBSE nice hold on NBSE there. I wouldn't be surprised to see a multi-day on that for sure, but again, for me, entry wise on the swing, for me, I just don't have it, so I'm not going to chase an entry. I'm pretty content sitting on my hands at the moment. Been very disciplined. Been seeing moves the right way though. Been seeing things correctly. So game for me tomorrow is size down and press buttons personally. I don't like to let more than a day or two go by if I'm not pressing buttons but I'm seeing things correctly. I need to be pressing buttons, y'all. So that to me is my game for tomorrow morning. But I'm not going to force the issue right now after hours. I know the game tomorrow that I'm looking for, right? So I'm going to wait for that game, a more predictable one. I feel like the predictable spots that I like to play have gone today and yesterday, and that's what I like to see. So tomorrow and Friday, hopefully it will be on for me. Hopefully tomorrow morning it will be on.
Roland, would you consider stating that there's kind of been like a shift from like summer trading now to fall trading? Like things are kind of like picking up more?
Yes and no. I mean, the whole summer trading thing to me was always hit or miss. I've had some summers that were hot as shit and some that were not. So I've never seen it like that. I think the market will do whatever they're going to do whenever, you know what I mean? So I will say that the last like 3 or 4 weeks have been very fruitful if you've been able to capitalize on what's been happening. We have runners. We have stuff that is running. We have squeeze. Look at Verb yesterday even, squeeze. We've had multi-day breakouts. We've had reverse split pumps. We've had stocks going from 50 cents to like $30 again. We've had a lot of things over the last month and a half, 2 months even. So for me, yeah, the game is to capitalize on this market for the rest of the year as long as we have it. That's all.
I think I'm done. I missed that whole opportunity. I'm going to call it, guys.
I'm calling it as well, my friend. Nothing for me. I will be ready in the morning for everything. We're doing trader therapy tomorrow, so we'll get that back on track.
For sure, man. For sure. See you guys rest of the day. We'll
have a good one, French. Holler at me in like an hour.
For sure, brother. Have a good one, brother. Thank you.
You too. Thank you, Mr. French. You're awesome, dude.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Next week, we got Chicago boot camp coming up. Make sure you get signed up for that. Will be a good one. And then I will get you guys who want to be in the Airbnb info on that as soon as I book it, which should be this afternoon or tomorrow. New guide, getting chapters up this afternoon, probably tonight it will be by the time they're up on the site. And we're rocking and rolling. So I'll catch you guys in the morning. Everyone stay safe. Hope you guys learned a lot today. There's a ton of opportunity, but there's also not. If you guys watch the places in the charts that are best places to play at the moment, that's only kind of small windows of time, man. So those of you who are sitting around all day losing money for no freaking reason, understand that's not what profitable traders are doing. right? They're sitting around for very specific moments. They're not trading random things and random first green days and random plays that no one's talking about for no reason. You know, and the people who are playing those things know what the hell they're doing, and they have their own processes and stuff like that, and they're finding their own stocks. So I'll leave you with that. All right, we'll catch you guys all in the morning. Make sure those of you who haven't gotten your one-on-one scheduled, make sure you get those scheduled. And we'll go from there. Stay safe. Catch
Thanks,
you guys.
Roland.
No problem, y'all.